Hello and welcome to another video. As you can see here, I made a cute little diorama for this past Valentine's Day of Nidoking and Nidoqueen. I made this into 3 parts, which is Nidoking and Nidoqueen, the grass base, and the plaque. Now, as you can see, it actually melted in the printer a little bit, but that's, no biggie. I'm actually just going to take the grass base and sand it just to try to get it to fit better. After sanding, I test fit the bases together and it's looking good. Now I move on to the king and queen of this project. It needs a bit of cleaning, but I'm going to save you the boredom and go ahead and do that off camera. Boom! Now that everything is sanded and clean, I went ahead and took this clear gesso that you'll see in a second. Come on. There we go. And I'm going to paint that all over so that my acrylic has something to stick to. I actually went ahead and decided to paint the rest of the bases so that they're all primed and ready for paint. So here you can see I pulled up a reference image to make sure I was using the right shades for our queen before putting any paint down. Oop, double take. Alright, so I'm starting with this blue bonnet from Apple Barrel because it seemed like it was a good enough shade match, and I just went ahead and started covering all the areas that needed that blue. Next I take this khaki color from Craftsmart and I start filling in all the other, tannish areas on Nidoqueen. Can't forget to fill out her, her beard. Now that all the tan parts and the blue have been painted, I start with this dark brown on the innermost part of her ears. Making sure not to forget to put that lighter tan on the outer rim as well.
Food and lodging.
Come on.
This is our promise. Would I be correct in thinking
Come on.
you can neither see nor hear me?
My attempt to do something satisfying. Here I'm taking a little bit of yellow and covering the flower, as well as taking a little bit of brown and putting that in the middle. Going in with my white, I'm just going ahead and painting all the nails. So I had these 2 purples and I was not sure which one was going to fit best, and even looking at my reference image I still was not sure. So I go in with at least one little strip of each color, just to see which one would look the best or be the best match. After careful consideration, I decided to go with the light purple, as it seemed to be the best match, and I went ahead and just started covering every little nook and cranny that I could. Just like we did before with our queen, I went ahead with some white and covered up his chest area as well as his belly. And again, just like with our Nidoqueen, I actually took a paint pen this time and gave him his own little pedicure. Going in with some pink, I cover up his tongue. Here I'm starting with a light teal color. Just starting to cover up his ears with this color as well as a dark teal as well for the inner part. With all of my base colors down, it was now time for the line art. Now, as you can see here, I go back and forth quite a bit. I was extremely nervous not to mess this up because that purple took a lot, and I mean a lot of layering to get that vibrant. The stress was getting me. I was stressing out about this. Line art's done. Now, on to the next part. Now, I take out the base, and I'm going to be painting it with this golden brown color and just coating everything that I can before dry brushing with a lighter color to bring out all that texture. You'll see here that I decided to take a small paintbrush as well as some green, and I just went to town coloring as much as I could, coating it as much as I could, but eventually you will see that this just did not cut it. The more I painted, the more the clumps were harder to get out, and it was starting to become a little bit of a nightmare. I also realized that this was going to take forever, so I thought to myself, screw it, we're taking out the airbrush.
Watch this.
The poem. I wrote it for you.
I gotta go.
Just have to find a book that means more to him than anything in the world.
Hindsight, probably should have turned the TV off, but we're gonna go ahead and start putting my airbrush paints into the bowl, and I had to make sure I put thinning stuff in there just to, so that it flows well. Mixy, 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 mixy. Capping it off. Test, test. Oh, and can't. Tried faster than I thought I would. Can't get it off. But just gonna start blasting away at those little bushes. Started to notice that the overspray was becoming a little too thick and taking away from the texture, so I just took a quick little wet brush and blended some of that out onto the sand. Once the bushes were all dry, I went back in with that original golden brown and just covered all of that overspray. Here we are getting into the home stretch with the plaque. I already gessoed it, so now I'm just going in with that dark brown and I'm just gonna cover that on up. With everything painted, I am now taking both base pieces and dry fitting them to make sure everything still fits nicely. Thankfully, everything fit, so we're just taking that khaki color again and re-dry brushing that texture back in. Now that everything has been painted, we are taking our king and queen and we are dry fitting them onto the base, and then we are going to take the base and dry fit it back onto the plaque. Since everything looks good, we're going to go ahead and take some super glue and just coat the whole area on the inside. And we're going to put that ground piece right into that little perfect slot. Putting the last pieces on, we are now on to the final result. I just wanted to say thank you so much if you tuned in for this video. This was a really fun project and I do hope to do another one sometime soon. Anyway, thank you for tuning in and have a nice day.